What's good? Today I want to speak about structure and feeling for sync libraries. The reason why I wanted to speak about this is there was a producer who asked me, how they should structure their beats and whether it is different for commercial music, which is your typical songs that you'd get on radio, whatever the case is, and library music, right, which is music that you might hear in a game or in a TV program or in an advert. And there is a clear difference. With a normal commercial track, you would find it follows some version of intro, verse, chorus, maybe a bridge, maybe another chorus, possibly another chorus, and then an outro. Whereas with sync licensing, you have to sort of remove that whole idea of arrangement in that way, and you need to think about the feeling. And the best way to do this is to actually go and watch TV, or just think about the times that you have watched TV. What are you creating for? Right? Is this music something that you potentially want to be synced to a sports program or sports viewing? Is it something that's going to be something more dramatic, right? It might be on a TV program. Is it for just an advert, so it's going to be quick, in, out sort of thing? Is it going to be in a lifestyle program? There's so many different places where your music can be placed, and the moment you start thinking about that, start thinking about what the environment looks like. Hand washing liquid. You have a shot of maybe kids playing outside, getting dirty. Their hands are getting dirty, and now it's time to eat. The mother calls them inside, right? She's got that thing where she's like, waving like that. The kids, they pack up, they come into the house, they're dirty. They realize that they're dirty, their hands are dirty. So then they realize that they need to go to the sink. They go to the sink, right? And in this time, you kind of want to have that. The music makes this thing happen, right? The music will probably be moving, right? Especially if you're in South Africa, there would be some kind of, I'm thinking house, maybe a soft house, or you could have Afro beats playing, but you'd have various African elements, and with us, there generally is a lot of percussion in the work that we do. Having said all of that, you have now thought through the process, and you've made the music for that particular mood. And it then becomes easier for you to put it together because you realize how big a swell needs to be, and you realize how long this section needs to be. You realize what sort of instruments would you want to bring in, right? Would you want to bring in dark strings? Probably not. You'd want to bring in some mallets, or something that sounds a little bit lighter because you're dealing with a pretty light subject. You're trying to get your kids' hands clean, and it'll be more of a happy, sort of clappy, dappy feel to the beat as well. It won't be dark strings, and that's not going to work, right? So think through that. Whereas you might have sports viewing, and sports viewing you might want trumpets, might want bigger drums, right? You think of someone running down the line, a rugby player running down the line with a ball. Think of someone who's about to kick a ball. Think of someone who's about to hit a golf ball. Think about a hockey player who's about to take a shot, right? You've got all these different scenes, and there needs to be drama. It doesn't have to be explosions, but you need these sounds that evoke feelings of, we're doing something, right? We're powerful. We want to be triumphant. We want to be number one. And if there are any vocals that are added on top, those are also words and sort of feelings that you need to then go with. And for me, having that in the back of my mind as I'm creating makes it easy for me to then create pieces that have enough movement, have enough of whatever it is that's required. The last point would then just be make sure that there's not a lot of repetition. It's not one of those things where you're gonna take something and then copy and paste it to later on in the beat. That rarely happens, where you're just going to take everything verbatim and then copy and paste it. You'll take elements, copy, paste it. You can then go into the MIDI, or you can go into the VST and change the instrument, or you can change the chord structure up a bit towards the end, or you can make it swell even more, bring in more instruments, make it bigger, there'd be some kind of an explosion or some kind of crescendo at the end, and then it ends, right? It's not one of those things where it's going to fade out at the end. It needs to be a clear-cut, defined ending. Peace.